All right, here we go. All right, guys, welcome to our call tonight. We've got a great lineup and some phenomenal information we're going to be pouring out to you guys. Dr. Brankoff and myself, Melissa Hinault, we will be your tour guides for the next 30-40 minutes. And we are healthcare providers who have a massive passion in health and wellness and multiple income streams. You don't have to look far, especially in the absolute current, like most current environment where a lot of us are at home. Though I've been doing this for a while, so I'm used to being home running a business, but a lot of us are here at home, and it's really hitting hard. The need or the power of a secondary income stream. Maybe you're coming to this webinar tonight. You've had a main income stream for a number of years. But this current scenario is bending your ear and your eye to take a look at what you could do to create a plan B, to create an additional income stream so that you don't have one sole source to provide for you and your family. So over the next 30-45 minutes, Dr. Brankoff and I are going to take a deep dive. Dr. Brankoff is going to actually really kick us off with the product aspect. Because we would not be an incredibly successful and lucrative business if we weren't backed by a phenomenal company with a phenomenal product. So she's going to take a dive from an MD perspective. And then when she gets done with the product aspect, she's going to turn it over to me. And I'm going to dive into the numbers. I'm going to talk about the money. So if you're really just here to dip your toe in and learn product, that is A-okay. Know that about 15-20 minutes in, we're going to take a strong right turn and talk about money. So if that's not what you're here for, you can jump off at that point. Or maybe after you've heard a little bit, you might want to stay on and hear why the two of us and many other healthcare providers and professionals are pursuing this business as a secondary income stream. So I have the pleasure of introducing you guys to Dr. Brankoff, who's kicking us off. She is a physician. She's a dermatology resident. She's a new mama in medicine, and she's really focused on a plant-based diet, but she's really focused on plant-based diet and beauty foods expert, really. And some of you follow her podcast. She's got the Millennial Doc podcast, which is phenomenal. And she's the first, just a side note, she's the first physician in her family, and she was a basketball athlete growing up. So Dr. Brankoff, I'm going to turn it over to you for the next little while to enlighten our audience on the brilliance of these products. And I'm going to mute myself out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you guys all for being here. Melissa, I just want to tell you that it's a great honor to be here, and I'm so happy to have partnered with you. And, you know, you're incredible. You're an incredible leader for all of us entrepreneurs, healthcare professionals. So I just want to say thank you for that. You know, I just want to start out with saying that my heart goes out to, you know, all of you out there who, you know, it's a stressful time right now. And, you know, people have been laid off from jobs. There have been, you know, people that have been furloughed. Just many stressors, having to homeschool kids. There's just a lot going on right now. But I want to tell you that, you know, the fact that you're here right now is testament to your character, and that you want to better yourself as a person, and that you want to be a part of a community connected like this virtually, which is amazing during this time. So I am going to discuss, oh, sorry. I'm not sure why this is. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the physical wellness and how you can have it all. But you can absolutely have it all by having the right vehicle and the right nutrition to get to all of your goals that you want in life. And then Dr. Melissa, she's going to talk about financial wellness and financial freedom. So integrity, so we're always going to talk about the fact that any of the products that I mentioned do not diagnose, cure, or treat any diseases. And we always have integrity as we speak about the nutrition and the products in our company. Again, she already mentioned, this is just a little bit about me. I'm a current chief dermatology resident. I have a podcast out there, and I'm here to discuss my story. So this is kind of my story about how I even was introduced to this amazing company. So let me go through some of these pictures. The first picture to your left, this is me as a varsity basketball athlete. I made the varsity team as a 9th grader. And, you know, I was really, when you look at that picture, I was really fit, lean. I was always you know, an athlete, and I love that aspect. If you, you know, didn't see me studying, I was a tomboy. I was with a basketball when I was, you know, in high school. But, you know, but back then I didn't really have to think much about what I was putting into my body. I was just fit and I could eat anything, right? But I knew that wasn't going to last for a long time. And then the second picture here, I was just turned 22 years old. I moved to California for medical school. And as you can see, I'm super fit, lean, healthy here. And yeah, so that was before. And then I really got into, so I finished my bachelor's degree in 2 years. So finishing 148 credit hours, finished that in 2 years. And what happened was I was in this program where you finish your bachelor's in 2 years and you start medical school basically right after. And so you're a doctor in 6 years. Unfortunately, you know, I decided not to do that so rushed. And so in a good way, I had an opportunity to read more about preventive medicine because I have to be an example for my patients as a doctor. So the China study, all those books on the corner there, the China study, Beauty Detox Solution, Beauty Foods Expert, how that, you know, helps your skin, your body, and then Forks Over Knives. I met the author of How to Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease, Caldwell Esselstyn. At the Cleveland Clinic when I did research there. And, you know, I was everyone that met me when I started medical school, they were all starting to drink green smoothies because of me. So I was the green smoothie nut in medical school. And this is me with Kimberly Snyder. She's a celebrity nutritionist. And this is a picture of actually how my fridge would look like all the time. So I was super plant-based all the time. And so that was that, you know. And then 4 years passed, you know. This is the picture to my left of receiving an award for, you know, publishing about 10 papers in dermatology when I was in medical school. But what you don't see is that picture to the right, in that pretty pink dress. You know, I'm smiling there, but what you don't see is really underneath all that is the chronic exhaustion, fatigue, not being able to sleep, not having the energy. And to those pictures to the right, the one up to the right was in Guam, in Hawaii with my husband. And, you know, you may look and say, oh, she's happy, she's in her ideal weight, but behind all that wasn't, you know, I gained 20 pounds in medical school. I basically stopped taking care of myself to have these ambitious goals to get into the most competitive field, dermatology and medicine, and I kind of forgot who I was, and I wasn't an athlete anymore. I didn't take care of my body as med school kind of went through, and so I gained these 20 pounds, and then here's a picture of me and my sisters, and again, you know, so I wasn't myself anymore because I lost a part of me, this fitness, athletic part of me, and I did everything to get it back. So my story with how I was really introduced to this company and these amazing products is a medical school classmate and friend halfway through med school introduced me to, and I told him no for 2 years. 2 years, I'm like, no. I'm just gonna drink my green smoothies and I'm all good. You know, I'm vegan. This is gonna work. Like, and it didn't work. So I gave it 2 years. I tried, and so then I started residency. So, you know, I finished medical school and I started residency. This is actually me matching into dermatology during an intern in residency. And I started, and within 4 days, I felt amazing. I was sleeping better. I had more energy. I was on the wards doing overnight shifts for 30 hours. And, you know, I was having my bars, I was having my e-shots, I was cleansing. I was doing all these things because I felt so amazing for the first time. You know, I looked in the mirror and I was like, I could actually recognize who I was and who I lost myself throughout this kind of long, challenging 4 years of medical school. So that picture, to second picture is actually, I was 30 weeks pregnant in that second picture in the gym. And so, but when I was pregnant, I was completely taking these products. And so I'm so grateful for the fact that I was feeling amazing. I was able to work out and I had an excellent pregnancy. And then this is a picture of me and my husband. He's a dermatologist as well, internal medicine physician and pediatrician. And we have a little boy, 8-month-old right now at home. So, you know, I just want to kind of show this picture and say that, you know, you can have it all. You can marry the man of your dreams. You can, you know, you can be a healthcare professional. You can be an entrepreneur. You can have multiple businesses, and you can all achieve that with amazing health, because if we don't have health, we can't have anything else. So that is my story, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit about, you know, we're going through a lot. You know, stress has an immense effect right now on our bodies. And this post in the Washington Post said that stress levels appear to be higher today than they were during the Great Recession that followed the, you know, financial collapse of 2008, with 7 in 10 Americans now citing this outbreak as a source of stress. You know, my heart goes out to all of my colleagues and everyone that is, you know, on the front lines, especially with times when there's not enough protective equipment. And it's just a lot. There's a lot going on, and stress has an immense effect on our bodies. Oh, I'm not sure why. Sorry, there's a line there. I apologize. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, so we have all this going on, and I kind of shared my story with you, right? And right now, unless you're really an essential personnel working, we have a lot more time, right? We don't have to drop our kids off at school. We don't have to, you know, pick them up, or we just have more time in our hands. So what can we do with our time? So we can watch this, but I wouldn't really recommend that. You know, a lot of people are struggling with eating right now. So probably in different ways than they're used to. Stress eating is common and understandable response to the work-life stress, but for the longer term, it's useful to develop some other strategies, right? So my question to you is, if you could achieve anything during this time and you knew you wouldn't fail, what would that be? So imagine if you can do something where you could do some emotional, spiritual, and physical, just a detox, or you can get leaner and fitter. You can release that stubborn weight that you've been wanting to for years. You can work on some new skills, possibly, you know, learn a new language, learn maybe a new instrument. You can serve and make a big impact on your local community, or you can look for ways to earn an additional income stream. And time is the only universal commodity we have, as I mentioned, but the stress and the toxins, they will always be there. And so you may ask, you know, Dr. Nikoleta, what do you know about kind of burnout and stress and, you know, all that? Well, you know, this is the picture to the far left. This is, I graduated college at 19 years old, 3.9 GPA with, again, in that accelerator program. But again, I was not really into nutrition. I didn't know how to take care of myself and my body, really. I accomplished all that, but what does that matter if you can't be an example to your patients and to your friends and your colleagues? And so then here's my medical school graduation there, and then here's the other picture with my husband. And I just want to share, you know, with you all that back in 2016, when I graduated medical school, I had really given up on my health and fitness. I really have. And, you know, again, it took me 2 years to finally say yes to my friend who introduced me, because, you know, my heart goes out to, if you're settling, my heart goes out to you, because I did that. I did that for 2 years, and it really, really kind of hurt to keep on waiting and waiting until, you know, you finally make that decision. And, you know, it wasn't overnight success, but the moment I actually started using these products in the nutrition, within 4 days, like I said, I was sleeping better, had more energy. I was able to have more energy to actually function at work. And I was able to actually fit back into those jeans that I wasn't able to fit in at the end of school when I gained those 20 pounds. So, you know, as a physician, I looked at the products, I looked at the company, I looked at the research, and I decided to do this. And once I felt that amazing,
like extra money.
I knew that I had to put this nutrition to my body for the rest of my life and share it with others, because there's too many people that are suffering in silence out there. And so that, you know, is my story. And what does that, you know, lead to? Well, this is what I'm kind of doing now. I'm finishing my residency. I'm working on my, you know, business. I'm going to be a dermatopathology fellow starting in July. This is me and my baby here. So what if you could come out on the other side of this healthier, leaner, happier, and more fulfilled? So Isagenix, this is the company that me and Melissa have partnered with. Our mission is to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain, and in the process create the most trusted and respected health and wellness company in the world. We have solutions. We have solutions for everyone: weight loss, performance, energy, and what Melissa will talk about later as well, financial wellness. Now let's talk about things that are going on right now. So if you Googled in 2019, oh, diet for the new year, all these things going on, there's many Google searches that come up. Intermittent fasting might be better for you than calorie counting. In a 24/7 food culture, fasting gains followers. It looks like intermittent fasting really does work. So all these things are kind of coming up and trending recently, but Isagenix has been doing this since 2002. So they've been doing this for the last 18 years. And then you may ask me, well, does Isagenix really work? Peer-reviewed third-party research studies, which I'll mention later. But the key aspects that we looked at here is that what they did, they compared participants who were eating a plant-based hard diet that a cardiologist would recommend, and they compared that to our protocol with Isagenix. And 56% more lost weight, 47% more fat loss, twice as much visceral fat loss. And one of the most important is we actually saw a buffering of the oxidative stress levels, which is huge in preventing your chronic Western diseases. So again, it's easy to start. Good, better, best. $10, $15 a day, $20. All you have to do is pick your goal and pick your pack. It's simple as that. So again, we all have these life gaps, right? And so what these are is financial stress, unemployment, taking care of patients in the hospital, forgetting to eat, sometimes stress eating, having to quarantine yourself, like me or my husband could potentially have to do from our family. And Isagenix is designed to help you with your life gaps. And so what do we, common sense tells us to do things like, okay, you're going to sleep enough at night, you're going to eat 5 to 7 servings of fruit, fresh fruits and vegetables per day. Most Americans, though, are not getting that in a week. You're going to want to try to drink a gallon of water a day, do some fasting, eat enough fiber, and all these things, right? So this is common sense, what we kind of all know. But, you know, just because it's common doesn't mean that it's actually common practice and we're doing it just because it's common sense, right? And so Isagenix is really simple. There's a unique combination of shake days and cleanse days. And let me start with one of our pillar products. So the top 3, there's top 3, and this is the first one. So your IsaLean shake. This is your food. This is your balanced, nutrient-dense meal with maximum nutrition and minimal amount of calories. It's non-GMO, grass-fed, whey-based, unddenatured protein, come from New Zealand cows, and it's great for kids. There's a variety of flavors. It's very clean. And for you vegan plant-based lovers, there's an amazing dairy-free shake as well. Pea protein, hemp protein, and your chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. My husband has strawberry every morning. I have the chocolate every day. It's amazing. All right, so those were the shakes. Number 2 is your cleanse for life. This is my one friend told me she wanted to just buy it and drink it like a juice. And I'm like, well, it's done a little differently than that, but it tastes really, really good. So what it is, it's a potent phytonutrient-rich beverage for daily or deep cleansing, which we call our cleanse days. And so I'm going to go into it a little bit here. So Cleanse for Life has aloe vera inner leaf, which is soothing, anti-inflammatory. Suma, and eliminates waste from the colon. Pau de Arco is another botanical. It's antimicrobial, antifungal. Burdock, it cleanses the blood and supports libido. And then Ulurethra reduces fatigue, increases cognitive function. So the next pillar product, so we talked about the IsaLean shake, we got the Cleanse for Life, and we got the Ionic Supreme. So this one here, this is my favorite. So some of us moms call it our kind of mommy juice, or it buffers your stress because there are many adaptogens in there. And what adaptogens do, they help you buffer and adapt to the different stressors throughout the day. So how I take it in the morning, I take it in the evening, sometimes in the afternoon, because when we wake up in the morning, our cortisol rises, right? And then in the afternoon, between 2 and 4 p.m., it peaks again. So I sometimes have it in the afternoon instead of, going for that sugary carb, dessert, excessive caffeine, starchy things that aren't going to do much for you, right? So Ionic Supreme, there's ashwagandha in there, which is an amazing adaptogen. Helps reduce stress, increase strength, stamina, and libido. There's wolfberry, shilajit. Shilajit, actually, you can find it in Nepal and in those really harsh there. Vitamin B6, B12 is in there, hibiscus and tribulus as well. So it's an amazing, amazing product. Isagenix. This is one of my other favorites. So this one actually, Dr. Bill Andrews, he actually, this is a really good book on telomeres, current curing aging. But what telomeres are, they're the end caps of your DNA, right? So as we get, as we age, and if we're exposed to a lot of oxidative stress, and as well as, you know, unhealthy diets and other, you know, free radicals that are living, those telomeres are going to shorten. So this product has actually, he won a Nobel Prize for it. He's a molecular biologist who has studied for more than 15 years. It's amazing, and I take about 4 a day. Organic greens. This is another favorite. So this one has 2 net carbs. It has 30 calories, but the thing I love about it the most, first of all, it's organic. Second of all, there's spirulina. So spirulina actually is an amazing source of plant-based iron. And 1 gram of spirulina is, actually has more iron than 1 gram of red meat. So it's awesome for a source of plant iron. Chlorella, so chlorella oxygenates our blood. It binds heavy metals, supports your immune system. Chlorophyll is, you know, part of the plants, but chlorella is just amazing part of this product as well. Of course, there's spinach, kale, and many other ingredients. Pineapple, which makes it taste amazing as well. So Natural Accelerator, I take 2 every morning. It helps increase your thermogenesis in your body, and all these ingredients are in there. Chromium, it's amazing, promotes fat loss and healthy blood glucose levels. Cayenne as well, apple cider vinegar. This is amazing to take on empty stomach. Sometimes I take it before my morning workout with water. And IsaFlush, I keep this on my bedstand. So this has magnesium oxide, which is super important for oxygenating your colon, heart, and lung. And it has peppermint too, which is very soothing before bedtime. So again, cleanse days. So cleanse days, these are what we call our nutritionally supported intermittent fasting. And you get all the support with cleanse day trackers, and it's so simple to follow. Anybody can follow this. So again, it's a simple system, successful results, and that's all you need, right? So I'm just going to share these 2 testimonials here. Aaron, for example, he lost 4.8 pounds in 60 days. But, you know, you might think, okay, that's not that much. But look at the body fat percentage he lost. And then Kim lost 4.8 pounds, but 10.75 inches. That's more important than inches. So the reason why I absolutely love this company is that Isagenix, they have clinical research that supports your weight loss, long-term weight maintenance, improvements in performance, improvements in cardiovascular health, and toxin release from your fat stores. And they've done studies in University Chicago, Skidmore, and ASU as well. And the fact that their products, they have a no compromise quality commitment that goes to a lot of rigorous testing before being put into the packaging. And so the Isagenix difference. So it's really, really this simple. You have optimized, dense nutrition that you put into your body. You flood your cells with the exact minerals and adaptogens, because it's not just vitamins. We need minerals for those biochemical reactions to work, right? And so you're flooding your body, and then with these amazing shakes, and then you have those cleanse days, right? Where you're also going through something called autophagy, where you're killing those old cells that aren't meant to be there anymore. Right, so optimized nutrition, no compromise quality, scientific support leads to amazing and transformative results. And here are my references. Those were all the scientific research studies that Isagenix has done. And my last question, you know, write this down right now. What will you do with your time? And if anything, I just want you to know that, you know, you don't get your goals, you get your standards that you place in your life. And my last question to you is, what would you do if you knew that you could not fail? And with that, Melissa, I pass it off to you.
Yay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Nikoleta. That was amazing. So it's funny, as you were presenting, I wrote down one thing that I was kind of laughing about. Let me put you guys back in gallery view for myself here. How do I get us back in gallery view? So I wrote down, you were talking about quarantine, and there's a lot of different stressors that we're all under right now, but I kind of chuckled because a lot of people are experiencing, we're calling it freshman 15 in quarantine, right? How many people are experiencing that freshman 15 in quarantine of just having, you know, too much junk circling around to the refrigerator and the pantry. We've just gotten a lot of people on board this month just with getting their health in alignment with the life gaps that are happening right now. this is when we're going to really transition to the business aspect of it. So if you're here to really learn about the products, this would be a good breaking point if you don't want to learn about the financial opportunity that Dr. Nikoleta and I are pursuing and growing and scaling. But I encourage you, if you stayed this long, you might, I mean, what else do you have to do and where else do you have to go, right? So let's dive in. I am going to pull up my slides. So just hang on a second as I get mine up. All right, can you guys see that? Okay, so hang on one second. Can I move this? Oh, well, we'll just move it like that. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna kind of start with my journey. I loved hearing your journey, Nikoleta, and I couldn't agree more about the whole, I wrote down life gaps, right? There's so many life gaps. I have actually been using Isagenix for 5 years. Initially to whittle down my waist, and then it turned into maximizing my performance and hitting PRs as an athlete, to nourishing my body through my 3rd pregnancy, through rebounding from that 3rd pregnancy to getting back to the healthiest version of myself in the quickest time ever, to now juggling 3 kids at home as an entrepreneur and homeschooling them because they're not in school. So with every phase of life, these products have filled a gap for me and nourished me and just shown up for me 5 years in a row. So a little bit about my story. Why should you even listen to me, right? So I actually was completely burnt out. This little person here in the pink dress is Melissa Hinault. I was a corporate professional. I also have my doctorate in pharmacy. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry as a medical director, and I covered about half the country. I had no time and lots of money. So I didn't control my time. I had my back up against a wall when it came to time freedom. And I didn't have financial freedom. I had financial success. So on paper, you know, I had a big income, but the big man told me where I had to go and when I had to be there. And so like Dr. Nikoleta, that person in the pink right there was, even though I was an athlete and had always been super fit, I found myself in my mid-30s with 2 small children in diapers, running a really stressful career with a lot of responsibility and a lot of travel as a primary breadwinner. And I was sleepless at night for a number of reasons. One, I think my adrenals were shot. I think my cortisol was through the roof, right? I was overworked. But in general, I was exhausted. I had mommy fog. And I also felt like I had lost control. I climbed Mount Everest as quickly as possible, got to this really highly coveted title and career, and looked around and realized I'd kind of climbed a mountain I didn't really want to be on anymore. And I didn't know what to do. So that was me. And I'm sure some of you can relate to that. And a good friend of mine introduced me to the products, and literally within days, similar story to Nikoleta, as many experience, you get that Isagenix glow. And I was sleeping like a baby. The mental fog was gone for the first time. I was a better boss. I was a better employee. I showed up as a better mother. I was more engaged. And so for me, that energy and sleep was huge. That drop in anxiety at night. And what happened next is it was an evolution for me. Within 30 days, like the examples that Dr. Nikoleta showed, I lost 5 pounds. I didn't have a whole lot of weight to lose. You guys, that picture of me in the green dress was 6 months later. There's a 5-pound difference, but my body composition is completely different based on the superfoods and the nutrition that I'm consuming. So I went from corporate burnout to all out entrepreneur. Over to the right would be me about 4 years into my journey. I leaned in during my product journey and having an amazing experience like Nikoleta. I leaned in and learned the business model. I realized 5 years ago, the industry I was in was not stable. And even though I was the breadwinner, the corporation could rip the rug out from me at any point. And what was I going to do then? Just like the average American, even though we had big incomes, we were still living within about 3 months of our salaries. If 3 months went by, we were going to have to dip into our 401ks to pay bills. And that was scary for me because I was still paying off a lot of college loan debt, which was part of the piece to the puzzle that many of you probably have, college loan debt. So I leaned in. I was coachable. I latched on because it was a product I could get behind because I had an incredible result. And the data was really kind of earth-shattering when you think about the quality and the purity in nutrition. I got behind it, leaned in, learned the business model, and within 2 years was a six-figure income earner while still working full-time, paid off over $100,000 in college loan debt, became debt-free with my doctorate. And while I was on maternity leave with my third child, I decided, hey, if I can build residual income and an income producing asset in the pockets of my day job to six figures, what in the world can I do with this business if I were to walk away from my 9 to 5 completely? And some of you are listening to me like, I cannot believe she did that. I couldn't believe I did it when I did it, right? Now I am 2 years from my retirement. I am unemployable. I will never go back. The freedom I have now is, I can't even, it's been incredible. So here I am tonight, just enlightening you guys on my journey. And what I want to do over the next couple of minutes is really talk through how the compensation model works. Because if we have some clinicians on the line, you're skeptical. I was skeptical. How does this work, right? Here's the deal. We have to recognize that people are working differently than ever before. How many of you, for the first time ever, are learning that you can work from home, that in quarantine, you can still operate a business off of your computer, right? I just figured out 5 years ago, I could build a secondary income stream at six figures off my phone in the pockets of my time in airports and in hotel rooms, right? The world is figuring out that we can operate differently and we can actually have our lifestyle be the focus and our business around it, right? So the future is changing. So let's talk about how people are doing business now. Some of the largest organizations, the largest transportation company in the world doesn't even own a vehicle, right? The largest hotel company doesn't own a hotel. It's Airbnb. The fastest growing trend is not to shop getting in your car. What has everybody been doing for the past month and a half? Amazon, like crazy, right? We're ordering everything. I just figured out I could order running shoes without having to go to a running store because I needed a new pair. I got them off of Amazon. So here's the thing. Imagine you're having your own health and wellness franchise in the palm of your hands, from your computer, from your phone, anywhere in the world, and being open for business in 18 countries, where you can say, yes, I want to be a part of this franchise. And literally tomorrow you can make a transaction and sales can be distributed to 18 different countries in the world. I don't know about you guys, but that like lights me up like no other, especially in the atmosphere we're in today. Guys, sales for health and wellness and boosting your immune system and staying healthy have never been higher. They're huge. So the economy is evolving. I mean, it's funny because these slides are from a couple months ago, but man, did I hit home right now, right? Many of you have purchased things online. Many of you have second gigs. A lot of my fellow friends who are pharmacists are hustling as consulting pharmacists. You're doing things PRN. You're doing things on contract. I've got fellow clinicians who are into real estate and renting rooms, right? We see life coaches and business coaches and blogging. The economy is changing, but here's the thing. Everyone that I just mentioned is still trading time for money. And that's where the equation is wrong. And this is where I really want to hone in for the next 10 minutes or so in this webinar. And if you're not on mute, if you could please put yourself on mute, because I'm hearing some background noise. I might have to take myself out of presentation mode to get the noise out. Let's see. Hang on a second. I'm going to have to, okay, I think they muted themselves. All right. Or maybe they didn't. If you're just, everybody check, make sure you're muted so I don't have to come out of presentation mode to check out who's not muted. So everything I just presented to you they're all side hustles. They're side jobs. They're still trading time for money. Okay. I And now I can't move my slides. What is going on? My computer's been hijacked. I literally can't move my slides. Louisa, can you, Nikoleta, can you try to share your screen for a split second just to get me out of this and come back? Somehow my slides have been hijacked.
Sure. Okay. It says you cannot start screen while the other participant is sharing.
I don't know.
I'm trying to share screen and it says you cannot start screen share.
Somehow my computer, and I can't move my slides. So I may just talk. So this will be fun. All right. Well, we'll just talk. So I can't even get myself out of the slide I'm in. So I'm just going to talk because I've done this enough that I can just talk to you guys. So here's the thing. In all of those aspects, here's the problem. I can't quiet whoever's on there. And I can't get out. This is super frustrating. Okay. So here's the thing. Those people are still trading time for money. The thing that was not educated to me in undergrad and grad school was the business model where you actually create an income producing asset that pays you out residually, okay? And I want to talk with you guys about that here tonight with Isagenix, because there's different models out there for ways to build businesses, but there's not a whole lot of models that create residual income that pay you out for a lifetime. I like to say you build it once and you get paid for the rest of your life, right? So herein lies the business model of network marketing, something I personally, and maybe some of you guys, judged before I actually leaned in and learned the business model, okay? So where I want to take you guys tonight is to a book by Robert Kiyosaki. Some of you may have heard of this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, before, but I want to bring you to a core concept that he talks about in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I want to really walk you through the different ways of cash flow and how we can make money in this economy today. And I want to cast a vision for you guys why the time is right, and it is right now to partner with a company like Isagenix to get yourself on that right side of the quadrant, okay? So in Robert Kiyosaki's book, he talks about cash flow and how there's two quadrants. So just bear with me for a moment because I don't have my slides, but you can envision that on the two slides, on the quadrants, on the left-hand side of the quadrant, he categorizes this as people who live in linear pay. What that means is being trading time for money, right? Whether you're blue collar, white collar, whether you're a surgeon or a maintenance, a maintenance man, you still have to show up to get paid. If you get hurt, you're not getting paid, right? You are the most important variable in the aspect of that. So in that linear aspect, on the left-hand side of the quadrant that Robert talks about, that is where 95% of our world in our country lives. I want to ask you guys a rhetorical question today. Where do you live? Do you live on the left-hand side of the quadrant? Do you have to show up to get paid? Is your income directly dependent upon your showing up at work every single day? And if so, you live in the left-hand side of the quadrant. You are an employee or you are self-employed out there hustling, right? Even self-employed can be linear. If you're a coach and you're recruiting clients to coach, you still have to go find new clients every month, right? So let me cast a vision to the right-hand side of the quadrant where Robert Kiyosaki talks about residual income, linear or leveraged income, where you leverage and build an income-producing asset. Now, many folks, myself included, thought and negated that I could ever be on that right-hand side for a number of reasons. The people on the right-hand side are typically business owners and they are investors. And I personally was not willing or have the knowledge to invest, take the risk to invest in a business. huge amounts of money you have to put in, huge amount to risk, right? And 9 out of 10 businesses fail, okay? So there's a reason not everyone is an entrepreneur, okay? Secondly, are the investors. Your investors, you think, I didn't go to school for that. I don't have the cash to invest in the first place. So a lot of us negate that we can ever be on that right-hand side where your money literally makes money for itself, or your business makes money for you while you sleep. Most of us think that that is designed for people who make one-hit wonders with music, with movies, or their investors, or their business owners, right? Because in those equations, you actually become the least important variable, and that income producing asset begins to make money and produce money and an income stream, whether you're there or not, right? Well, I'm here to tell you tonight what's really exciting is that actually network marketing is the greatest equalizer of them all. We can all get on the right-hand side of the quadrant. I have gotten myself on the right-hand side of the quadrant. And it works through the power of leverage, because you see with Isagenix, you're not in business for you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself, because you leverage building a business with a team. And it's a group effort where you build out the business model, and the company allows you to participate and profit share of the income that's created through the mass network that you build. So what do I mean by that? So let me just cast a vision for you. I personally have been with the company for 5 years, and I have personally enrolled about 300 people. However, based on the Isagenix compensation model and profit share model, over 5,000 people are in my business center because of the way our compensation model works as a team group effort to build, right? And because of that 6% profit share, I actually get paid on 6% of the mass consumption of those 5,000 people in my network who are committed consumers like Dr. Nikoleta and I that love the products and reorder them every month. Now, here's the thing that I want to kind of go back to for just a minute. When you guys think about Robert Kiyosaki and you think about the left-hand side of the quadrant and you think about the right-hand side of the quadrant, there are actually 2 platforms of compensation for Isagenix. So what I want you to understand is we play on the left-hand side of traditional sales. When you first get started, I have a lot of new pharmacists who just come in and they're just getting started. And as you introduce people to the company and you introduce people to the packs, you're going to get referral money. The first $45,000 that I made in my first year of Isagenix was majority left-hand side of the quadrant income, where I was introducing people to the company, introducing people to the product, and I was getting rank advancement bonuses and referral bonuses and introductory bonuses for bringing people in. That's all phenomenal. There are many of you that $10,000 to $50,000 a year residually on that left-hand side would be sweet, and you'd be happy to be there. I have people on my team that love to play in that space. But I know there's some of you on the line that are really, really thirsty to actually drive this compensation plan and max it out to the residual side on the right. And that residual side on the right is what begins to snowball and create a geometric progression that creates an income producing asset for life. So without the slides, I'm going to do my best to explain to you really quickly, and then we'll wrap up what that actually looks like numerically, okay? So what does it take to get started with Isagenix? What it takes to get started with Isagenix is you say, I'm going to try the products. You become a committed consumer. You consume what we call 100 business volume per month with the company, which equates to about $150, $160 per month. As you saw with my testimonial and with Dr. Nikoleta's, you don't have to go far to find phenomenal products that'll fit the bill to make you a healthier version of yourself while investing in the global growth and expansion of a company that's going to become an income producing asset for yourself, right? So when you commit to that 100 business volume consumption, which is a simple redirect spending on products that you're already consuming, by the way, but ours are cleaner and healthier, and you're gonna feel better, right? So your only investment is to get into a better version of yourself from a health standpoint. And by the way, It's a write-off, a business write-off, right? You eat your groceries and get to write them off as the cost of doing business. Like, I laugh about it to this day. I've built a 6-figure income on food that I eat, and that is my overhead. That's my overhead. It just blows my mind. So you come in and you introduce these products to 2 ride or die folks who would do anything with you, right? To go on that journey for nutrition, to go on that journey for the business, to go on that journey for health, whatever. Those first 2 people you bring in open you up for business for profit share. Our company calls that consultants. It's your first rank advancement. I have a new is my newest crystal consultant on our team. She rank advanced. She enrolled 2 people this week, and she's now open for profit share. And you know what? She's getting paid out 6% of the volume that's already running through her business center. This is really exciting, and it's a great example. She just started 2 weeks ago, and she's enrolled 2 people, and she has enough volume from the rest of the team running through her business because it's a leveraged business. I'm not going to get into the details of that piece tonight, but you are part of a team. You row together, you put volume in together. She's accumulated volume from the rest of the team, and she has been a committed consumer until now, which means she's committed to consuming 100 BV per month. She's cycling this week. What does that mean? It's profit share. She's getting 6% profit share this week from the company for the volume that's going through her business, okay? So you rank advanced to consultant, and here's where I'm gonna break down some quick numbers, and then we'll wrap up. The coaching that we give out with our team, and really a lot of the company, is the committed consumer model. When done the way I'm about to present it to you, will bring in $72,000 to $100,000 a year residually if followed in this process. You find 10 people who want to grow and share the business just like you do. All right, I want you guys to follow me on the math because I don't have slides. Take your pen, write it on paper so you don't fall asleep, because I know it's 9:18 and I'm doing math without slides. So get your pen out. So you enroll 10 people who want to do this with you. We call them coaches, okay? Keep in mind, those 10 people are going to commit to redirect spending on groceries, nutrition, performance, supplements they were already spending. They're now committing to redirect that spending to Isagenix to participate in the global growth of the company. Now, let me take you a step further. You now have your 10 people. You say to those 10 people, now I want you to go do what I just did. Go find your 10 coaches. Now, if you guys think about the math on that, your 10 people go find 10 people. You now have 100 people in your organization with a set of 100 coaches, right? Now it's time for everyone to go find their 10 customers, because I will tell you right now, we would not be a business. We would not have the opportunity if we did not have our customers. Our customers drive this business. But if you build your business in the structure of finding your coaches first, your business goes into a geometric progression where if you find 10 who teach how to find 10 each, that's 100. Now they all go find their customers. Those 100 moves you to 1,000. You guys can follow me on that math, because each of your 100 found 10 people. Now, I want to take you back to the committed consumer model. Those 1,000 people are part of your network of mass consumption of Isagenix products, right? And you are participating in the profit share with the company. The company says, thank you for growing this mass network of mass consumption of a product that's results oriented, it's emotional, and people love it. And they're reordering it on the monthly every single month. And because of that, those 1,000 people in your network, if consume 100 business volume every single month, and you get a 6% profit share, what that equates to is $72,000 a year. $72,000 residually. That is how in 2 years, I was able to grow and scale my business to 6 figures. I was able to go call up a couple of my girlfriends in pharmacy school, or that I went to pharmacy school with. I said, hey, I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And it sounds like this business is incredible, and I might also be able to pay off my college loans. Are you interested? They dial their girlfriends. Hey, same story, right? They share with their friends. They share with their friends. We get the products in our body. We have phenomenal results by word of mouth. We share with other people. We coach the people who come in how to share. And before you know it, the power of geometric progression takes over. Your 10 move to 100, your 100 move to 1,000. And everyone in the team participates in that 6% profit share who are committed consumers. That's the key component. You're committed to the mass consumption of 100 BV per month. It's not mass, it's just a little bit actually. It's a lot of people doing a little bit of ordering that participate in the global growth of the company. So with that, I'm going to wrap up because I don't have my slides, but what I wanted to just kind of tie a bow on is that you truly, especially in these times, have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I know for me personally, it was 5 years ago that I was in the midst of an economic downturn for the pharmaceutical company that I worked with. It's the only reason I was willing to take a look. It was the only reason. And 5 years later, I look back on what I thought was a terrifying time and realized it was the absolute best thing that ever could have happened to me, to be willing and open-minded to lean in and learn the business model, but also commit to my health. If anything else during this quarantine time, committing to this health with the products, put them in your body for 30 days and see if you're not blown away at the results. And if you are, you get to start sharing and building your network of mass consumption and participate in the profit share of this company. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. We do have free shipping this week for folks who join with Isagenix. I think there's a couple of guidelines there. There may be a minimum amount of product that needs to be ordered, but reach back out to the person who introduced you, asked you to come to this webinar tonight. Follow up with the questions that you have. I know I had a million questions. I was the biggest skeptic. I was approached for 8 months before I was willing to say yes. But there's no better time than now to lean in, invest in your health, and in the downtime, learn this business model, because we are the #1 income earning team in the world with phenomenal tools and resources to get you up to speed quickly. So with that, I will close out, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.
Good night, everyone.
Well, of course, now the slides are working.